one after another.
Cars are being broken into, my office is broken into.
These kids know the system better than anyone sitting at that board right now.
Several neighbors in Manchester expressed concern at Tuesday night's Board of Directors meeting over the rise in car thefts and juvenile crime.
One of my neighbors spoke yesterday and he basically said, someone's going to get hurt. And that's the scary part.
At the meeting, Police Chief William Darby pointed out some state policies that limit how officers can respond to certain incidents.
The state of Connecticut back in 2019, POST, the Police Officer Standards and Training Council, issued a new statewide pursuit policy that restricts situations when we can pursue vehicles. Stolen cars happens to be one of them.
I think they have to stop tying police officers' hands.
Just this past weekend, a car was stolen in the area of Hillcrest Road. Police are still looking for these mass suspects, and witnesses say one of them had a gun.
Right now, we have seen the spike in the dangerous activities.
Mayor Jay Moran hopes a newly passed town resolution focused on car thefts will push the conversation forward.
We're going to form a subcommittee of members of our board, police leadership, and invite in our local delegation to sit with us on that subcommittee and discuss this.
Over in Glastonbury, neighbors also put the pressure on Governor Lamont and state lawmakers during Tuesday night's town council meeting.
There's definitely a pattern that didn't exist even 5 or 10 years ago that's happening now. And I'm sure it does have to do with the legislature and the juvenile offender laws. We need to let them know that it's unacceptable.
Recently, the Glastonbury Police Department has formed a dedicated auto theft team.
3 officers are devoted specifically and only to matters of juvenile crimes, car thefts.
But some neighbors want their state and local leaders to dig deeper to address the root issues that lead to juvenile crime.
By punishing juveniles, you get no better results than if you actually put in services.
The town of Glastonbury will be hosting a separate forum on these issues next Thursday, July 22nd, and they're also going to be inviting in nearby communities to hopefully take a multi-town approach to addressing these issues. Reporting in Manchester, Angelo Bafaro, Fox 61 News.